Channel 5 Action News. I'm Dusty Weatherstorm.
And I'm Sarah Soup Kitchen.
Tonight we're taking a break from our regular programming to focus in on the state of our nation with a news special on our economy. Tonight's show includes exclusive interviews with real-life citizens and our presidential candidates for the upcoming election.
To start us off this evening, we have Wanda the Weather Girl with an update on the dust storms in the Midwest.
Well, as usual, the weather for the day is windy and very dusty everywhere, especially in the areas of Texas and New Mexico, and Nevada, and areas around that. And if you are not experiencing this dust bowl problem, it is just clouds of dust literally everywhere. You cannot walk outside without getting this covered in dust. So if you are going into this horrible weather right now, remember to wear goggles and a face mask, that way you don't get it in your eyes and you don't get it in your mouth. And once again, thank you farmers for helping cause this problem. Thank you very, very much. Anyways, back to you, Sarah.
Thanks, Wanda, for that reminder.
Oh, does anyone have some saline? Why do you get the goggles?
Manna.
Thank you. Much better.
As the highlight of our program tonight, one of our reporters, Liz, sat down and interviewed President Hoover on his views of the current state of our economy.
Take it away, Liz.
First of all, thank you so much, President Hoover, for taking your time out of your busy schedule for this interview. So our first question is, how will your experience as Secretary of Commerce help you guide the nation through this economic turmoil?
Throughout my experience as Secretary of Commerce, I have seen the way the American economy works and can find ways to stimulate growth so the American economy will go to healthy levels again.
So as President, how do you plan to help the American people?
It's not the government's job to fix the social problems, it's the Americans' job to fix it. I think the American people are strong enough. I think they can bounce back on their own.
Thank you, Liz. Now we have an interview with his opposing candidate, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, here to give his opinion on the current economy.
Thank you, Candidate Roosevelt, for joining us this fine evening. Now let me ask, if you get elected president, what is your plan to stimulate the economy?
Well, first of all, I'm going to create a short holiday, a few days, a week, and able well, all banks will be closed, so and it'll allow the banks a chance to recover and allow the American people to regain their faith in our banking system. I'm also going to create a number of different agencies for the purpose of creating a lot of different government jobs for the people so they can have a job, they can have a salary, so they can support themselves and their families.
And how are you going to control everyone collecting money from the bank?
Well, the only way that I really see how is to completely shut them down, because otherwise people will still be able to get in and need to shut them down so the banks can recover, so they can keep the money in the bank so the banks can keep on going.
So, Mr. Roosevelt, you mentioned new government programs. What would that look like?
Yeah, I'm going to call it the New Deal. Basically, it is about many government-sponsored jobs, so people who have no other jobs and need them.
Mr. Roosevelt has just announced his plan to implement new jobs. Let's bring on a couple of guests who had drastically different lives before, but now can benefit equally from these new jobs.
So, Bucky the farmer, how is the current economic situation affecting you?
Well, ever since all this Dust Bowl business, it's really affected my crops that I've been trying to harvest. And I can't really afford a new pair of shoes or new outfits for my kids. And I'm also losing my farm. So I'm hoping that all of this will get better soon.
Same question for you, Claire.
Because of the Great Depression, I almost lost everything in my life. I used to be a banker. I owned 2 banks, but you know what? Because of the crash of stock market, people rushed to my bank and tried to withdraw their deposits in cash. But I had no money to give them. Because my bank had even sold my house, my children cannot go to school, my family cannot afford the dental care. I try to find a job, but it's too hard to find a job under such condition. It's really a hard time for me.
It's true, it's a hard time for everyone. Well, thank you both for joining us today. We look forward to hearing about your future successes.
On a lighter note, let's hear from Scarlett and what's going on in the entertainment.
Thank you, Dusty and Sarah. I'm here in Hollywood with an entertainment news update. As you all may know, Shirley Temple is dominating the box office these days, so much that she is the most photographed person behind Edward VIII. Now, but the entertainment business is struggling with so many people's downfall because they only have time for the necessities. But I have a rare exception with me today, Christina. Why don't you come over here? Now, Christina took precautions before the downfall and has been able to save all her money. How has the depression affected you?
Oh, my family took the precaution before the depression. We have been able to avoid the poverty that so many experiencing. After depression, my family is very rich, and then we have a lot of money. So because we graduated for that, we can share some money for the poor and the ill off, and then we can employ amount of money remaining for the business, and we can take care for my life.
Thank you, Christina. Back to you, Dusty and Sarah.
Thank you, Scarlett, for that gripping update.
Wait,
Expanding
we're
across our-
having a dust storm. We're having a dust storm.
Stay calm, stay calm. Expanding across our borders, we will now hear from the... Oh, we have a guest? An unexpected guest?
Is it bad out there?
Okay, well, I think the dust is settling down, and we have an unexpected guest. Wear these just in case. So, who might you be?
My name is Frank.
Well, howdy, Frank, and where are you from?
I'm from Hooverville.
What's Hooverville?
Hoover? What?
Hooverville? What's that?
It's like so many bunch of homeless people living there, and yes.
So, bunch of homeless people. Well, what's that like living in it?
Hooverville.
Hooverville.
Yeah.
From who they lost all the money in the stock market. So, yeah, I'm homeless.
What do I say to that?
Now back to our regular show. Expanding across our borders, we will now hear from Haley in studio with us. She has a world news update.
Thank you, Dusty and Sarah. Now time for the global news. America is not the only country being affected by this Great Depression. The United Kingdom, as well as China, Spain, France, Canada, and many others are being affected by this great tragedy. One country in particular, Germany, is facing major issues. Desperate U.S. citizens have turned toward nationalistic demagoguery, which has propelled Adolf Hitler to power in Germany. The unemployment rate has reached nearly 30%, bolstering support for the Nazi and Communist parties. What will happen in the weeks to come regarding the global effects of this Great Depression? We'll be sure to keep you covered. Back to you, Dusty and Sarah.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to our special news program this evening. I'm Sarah Soup Kitchen.
And I'm Dusty Weatherstorm. Until next time, stay safe.